All right, so we are now live on Facebook and we are also recording. Lucy asked a question in terms of a great question, what we are going to cover today. So we are going to look at a couple of things. For those of you that joined us on Tuesday, we're going to recap how to find. Remember, we were talking specifically about the listing package, and within the listing package, there was a slide that had the background of a home, and then the forefront had a for sale sign that was blank that you could actually plug in your logo. So we're going to revisit where you find that. And then we are also going to, I bookmarked a few landing pages as it relates to how to find coloring pages. Remember, we also talked about how to create within designs coloring pages to bring in the kids in the buying process. So after that, then we'll cover creating listing agreements for kids. We'll probably skip over, but I'll ask if there are any questions as it relates to creating the neighborhood marketing video. We'll probably just touch on that a little bit, only because we've already done that before, and just kind of take questions. And then the other one would be using folders to organize your command designs. So those are the things that we're going to focus on today. And then we'll get going with anything else. Do we have any questions? No questions? Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Latasha.
Good morning. So I'm going to share my screen and just get going here. All right, so the first thing I want to show you is in command. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, yes. So let me go back to where this was. Why are you doing that? All right, so give me a minute to go back. Okay, so within command, you want to go into design. So again, we are recapping how to access that image that had the home in the background, the for sale sign in the front, where you could add your logo. So we're going into command, logging into command, going into designs. One day we're going into designs and we are clicking and we are going. There we go. All right, so then we want to go into print and the plus sign, print again for next. All right, so then from there, we're going to go into listing and we'll just do listing presentation. The key thing that I will say about finding this, you can actually find this in any one of them. So you don't have to go through just one. So you can actually access this with any one of them. So I'm just going to click on this one because it's the first one. So then again, it'll load up. So it's taking a minute, but it's loading all the ones. So I'm just going to add some here just to get started. I'm going to add this page. And uh-oh. Let's see, why is it doing something funky? All right. So it actually was taking me somewhere, I don't know what was going on here, but anyway, I added a page. So going down to images, it actually, I guess it was following my mind. So then what you want to do is you want to go down to where it says images on the left-hand side. Again, you would click on any template. I just added anyone for the sake of adding it. Then you go into images within company, you select company. Then you want to go to house exteriors. and scroll all the way towards the bottom. See where it is? So then I'm just going to highlight that and see this box. So then that's where that is. You can, whoops, I did exactly what we tell you not to do in terms of enlarging that. So just give me a minute because I don't know if it's our internet or what. Let's do this. There we go. Add it again. So again, if you want to enlarge this, you can. Again, keep in mind that you want to just pull either diagonal. But again, once you want to edit this, you can click on it and go from there. And then you can lay in your image from there. So again, you can use any template to access this. Again, the file path is images, company, then scroll all the way to the bottom. That's where you find it. Any questions about that? All righty. So the other thing that I wanted to show you, yes, don't save, is additional landing pages, or excuse me, additional website links for coloring books. So, what is going on here? Can you still see my screen? Okay, so let me go into creating another tab, and then I want to go into my bookmarks here. Hopefully I saved them and it worked. Let's see, Command. Here we go. So best coloring pages. So here's one. So this one has all types of images, home, nature. So I'm going to put this in the chat box right now. So I'm going to copy this link and share it with you. And chat. So the best coloring books, or pages, I should say. All right, so there's one. So it's in the chat box for those of you that want to copy and paste it. And then there was another one too. And I think it's this one. Yep, here's another one called Hello Kids. Here's another page that I found that was pretty cool. So I'm going to add that in the chat as well. Oops. Another resource for kids coloring books. All right, so then you have both of those links in the chat and you can definitely copy those. So now we're going to segue into creating listing agreements. So we talked about on Tuesday, adding the coloring books or creating the coloring books for kids. And so now we're going to do listing agreements. Then after that, we'll move forward to some other things. Any comments or questions before we move on? Good, okay. So can everyone still see my screen in terms of it says Command 66-day challenge? I just want to make sure you're seeing it. Good to go?
Yes.
Welcome back to the KW Command 66-day challenge 4.0, and today is day 41. So I told you yesterday when we were creating the kids coloring page, I had something more for you. Today we're going to create a kids listing agreement. So I've actually already created a template for you. Your first step in this challenge is to actually go to kwconnect.com and log in, and then click on the magnifying glass, and you want to look for the KW Kids
It's my internet, so give me a minute. Let's see here.
listing agreement. So you're going to get a list of content available there, and as time goes on, more content will come in, but feel free to click on documents if that makes it easier. But this is what you're looking for, the KW Kids listing agreement. you want to click on this document, and then you're going to have the opportunity to download it. So you would just click on download now, you'll see a version of it, then you would click on download to put that onto your hard drive. Okay, so you've got that downloaded. Next step we're going to do is go into Designs. So this is actually a PDF, and in Designs we actually have the ability to edit PDFs. So if there's something that has been created or something you've created that you want to kind of put your stamp on, you can do that by clicking on the plus sign. We're going to go into Print, click on Next. It's going to bring up all those print templates, but just like yesterday, we're going to go into the My Designs tab. And this time, instead of starting from blank, we're going to import a PDF file. So it says click or drag or drop. We're going to bring in the PDF we want to make edits to and click on Open. You'll see at the bottom right, the system will start working. And depending on the file and what's included in the file, it may take a little bit of time for that PDF to come in, but you can see ours came in pretty quick. Typically, the first thing you have to do is click on the 3 dots and click on Fix. It's going to ask you what unit of measurement do you want to use in this document, and I always do inches and click on Continue. And then you can see here is that document ready to go. Now typically, so I'm going to double click it and open it in the editor. Typically when you bring in a PDF, it's not going to be perfect. Okay, so just a heads up, it's typically not 100% perfect. What I usually do is, especially if there's a lot of content with regards to kind of text boxes and things like that, I'll use Microsoft Word to copy the content out of the typewriter, put it into Word, and then if it's not formatted correctly, I'll actually remove the content, put a new text box in, and then paste it in. So I'll show you what that looks like here. So right now we've got some spacing content that looks a little weird. We've got that funny symbol there. So I've already copied this content into Word, right? So you can see here's that content there. So I'm going to come back in and I'm actually going to click on the typewriter and let's remove all of this, right? Because some of that was formatted weird, some of it just looked weird. I'm going to click on Save Changes, and then I'm going to input or enter a text box that's body text, and I'll go ahead and put it right here. And I already know that this font is 15 Lato, so I'll double click up here and type in 15 so it's the right size. And then I can click on the typewriter, go back into Word, and I'll bring in the stuff that I pasted, right? I've taken out all the formatting and all the spacing. I'm just going to copy that and then go back to Designs and put that back into the typewriter. So there we have that. So I'll save the changes. It's going to put it all in one column there. Let's stretch it out. Also on the original template, I used line spacing of 7. So you can come up here to the top right-hand corner and do line spacing and move that out to 7. So there we go, we've got that in. Now I can come in and I'm going to find that second box that I copied. So let's put in another text, body text. We'll drop it in again, right about the same spot. We'll make it 15. And then we'll bring in the top of the checklist. So let's click on the typewriter one more time. Let's go into Word. Here's the top of that checklist. I'll copy that, come back into Designs, drop that into my typewriter and click on Save Changes. Then let's move it over and then go to format it with the same spacing. Again, 7 on the line spacing. We'll move it over just a little bit here. And then I need to go into the typewriter and make sure that I put a space in front of each one of these so that everything lines up appropriately. So let's see, maybe I needed a little bit more spacing there. Go, and we'll go back to typewriter. Let's just give it one more space and see how that lines up a little bit better so that I don't. And then you can see this track mud or dirt on the carpets box right there. That's not lining up correctly. So I'm just going to come into the typewriter on that text box, and I'm going to remove that out. Actually, I take it back. I can actually move this over, right? So here's that text box. And then I've got the one for track dirt. That's behind this one. And it's just a matter of getting the right text box and then lining it up. So actually, let's just move that back in because that one didn't work. Click there, line that back up. Typewriter, track mud or dirt, get rid of that, save the changes, and then we'll just come back into the typewriter here and put that back in. So that way you've got it, and it takes a little bit of time, right, to kind of get this all formatted so it looks clean. Don't track, let's see if we enter that and then space that over, that formatting should look a little better, and then we'll just drop it down just a little bit. So there you go, that's all clean, looks good. Keep my room neat and clean at all times, make my bed every day, wipe my feet, clean up all my toys, put away. I've got that weird symbol there, so let's click on that, go into the typewriter. For some reason, FT gives a weird symbol in this font. So that's all done. Now I can just come down to the gift card columns here and basically take that out, save those changes, and here in a second, we're gonna go in. I've already changed out my name, but you would want to go in on the template and make sure wherever it said your name that you change it out to be your name, right? Actually type in your name and don't just leave the your name. That should be pretty self-explanatory. But that's it, pretty quick and easy. I've just come through, I've changed a little bit on the formatting. Again, if the text gets wonky, don't be afraid to come into the typewriter, copy the text, paste it into Word, right? Take out all the formatting in Word, and then recreate a text box and drop it back in. So kind of an easy way to make that work if you're having any formatting issues. I could always come back in, let's move that down just a touch, and there you go. So now we have our kids listing agreement. This is a great tool to use when you're going on a listing appointment with children. Obviously, you can give them a reward for being a part of the process, of the sales process, and help the parents out by getting them to buy in as well. So that's it for today, guys. Day 41 of the 66-Day Challenge 4.0, creating a kids listing agreement using designs and the Edit PDF tool. Hope you're all doing well, and as always, I'll look forward to speaking with you tomorrow. Thanks.
All right. Hold on.
While you were doing that, I was just thinking, it's always fun to do something for the kiddos, and I'm in total agreement with that. But this really does serve two purposes. Not only does it get something going for the kids, it actually helps you in designs. So it's a real easy format to get in and start learning how to format and do things without feeling like you're going to screw something up, right?
Yeah, to piggyback on what you were saying, I was actually looking at it in a different way, but similar vein in the sense that it also is great for the parents. Think about it, because the parents, I'm sure, are probably telling them, Sophie, you need to make sure you clean your room and blah, blah, blah. But if you as an outside person say the same message, sometimes it's conveyed differently and there's more emphasis and importance. If the agent Terry is telling me versus my mom and dad, and there's an award attached to it or an incentive, then I'm going to take that to heart and I'm going to do it because Terry said, as opposed to mom and dad said. So, I mean, it's a great strategy and a tool to get the parents actually to buy in to you being that true resource for them and helping them with their kids in the process. So it's a win-win all the way around, for me. So any comments or questions from anyone else? I think what I'm going to do is, Robert, if you want to share your screen, I did give you co-hosting. Do you want to just, I don't think we need to watch the video, but are you comfortable? I know you can, but can you talk a little bit about the highlights that we've reiterated before as it relates to the videos and designs? Because what I'm going to do is while you're doing that, I'm going to actually go to connect and download that. So it's easy for the agents just to click on that PDF within the chat.
So you're talking the neighborhood video?
Yeah, the neighborhood video. Could you speak to that and just highlights? And then that'll give me time to actually go logging into Connect. Hopefully I won't mess anything up. And then I can have that in the chat for everybody to make it easier for you as it relates to the listing agreement.
Give me just a second to share here, guys.
Okay. Thanks, Robert. Thanks for jumping in for me.
Can everybody see the screen?
Yes.
All right. So I believe the neighborhood video, normally I would go into designs and find it. Let me see if I can find it in designs. I know I find it in campaigns. So let's go back over into campaigns real quick, because I know it's usually sitting over on the right-hand side in campaigns, right? So this would be a paid ad, create a new campaign, paid ad, right? See if I can remember how to get there. I haven't set one of these up in a while, so. Nope, that's not it. It was a social post. Bear with me here, guys. There it is. Oh, takes a while to get your mind back to where you were, right? So, suggested quick post. So was everybody okay with the way I got there, or you want me to go back and go back in? How about you, Terry?
I need to see.
Okay. So we'll come back to the home screen, right? And logging into command, we're going to go to campaigns. And then up here are just buckets, so you don't have to do anything up there. What you want to do is create a new campaign. No, I'm sorry, that's not exactly correct. In social posts, you'll see it there. So some of the applets in command, like designs, create those top tabs, and those are just buckets of what you've already created. In campaigns, you can see I haven't created anything here, but it's giving me suggestions. So that's a little bit different between designs and campaigns as far as the tabs are up at the top. So social post, create a quick social post. We're just going to select on this and take a look on this little shuffle button that's right down here. If you didn't want these 2 or 4 or whatever they are, 3, you could always shuffle them, right? And then you can get a download my app one, or this, or there's one here. You know, you can keep shuffling these, right? So, but you'll click on one. That'll actually play it. I don't want to play it, but search neighborhood. Let's say we're going to look for somebody, throw out a neighborhood. North Kihei, good. We'll just do North Kihei. That's where I'm at.
Love Robert. Gotta love Robert.
Yeah. So here, average home price, you can always check this against the MLS, right? Average home prices are on the decline. I would probably say they're on the rise. And then average home price, probably holding steady. It's been climbing a little bit. So you go down and, is it luxury culture? Probably not. Could be. Could be athleisure wear. Who came up with that? That is so PC, it's not even funny. Book loving, civic engagement, activism. Well, right now, I suppose. I don't know. Friendly community. We'll put that in there. Sites to see, travelers are here. So you can click and add anything you want inside here. You're not limited by anything. Agent information, you want to make sure your stuff's in there, right? Everything's all filled out. Market
Can I
center.
stress something, Robert? You had mentioned double checking MLS. I really want to stress that make sure you do a CMA before you do this, because you need to double check those numbers. So don't, my advice, which I'm just reiterating what Robert said, do not rely on this data to be 100% accurate. Do your research. It only takes a few minutes to do that CMA. And then once you have those analytics, that data, then you can verify it. But just don't go verbatim that this information is accurate. It may be very close to it, but I wouldn't bank on it. I wouldn't send it out until it's, vetted.
Yeah, like Latasha said, I mean, if anybody knows North Kihei, I don't think prices are falling. I think the prices are actually increasing. So, I mean, at least holding steady or increasing. I haven't heard of any price drops yet. I mean, we have a lot of reduced home prices, but that's not necessarily prices dropping. That's maybe people listed at too high of a price, right? So, DBA logo, adjust the cropping. You can do all that kind of stuff. You know how to do that. Owner statement. I don't think you don't need anything in there. So we don't have anything for that. And then next. Takes 10 seconds to load it up and you're ready to post it. Super fast. This other one down here that says download my app is kind of cute. You guys have seen this before, or do you want to play through it?
No, I've seen it.
Okay.
Maybe the others haven't, though.
Anybody else?
I could see it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Let me run through it real quick again. Shoot.
And I can show up mine if you want to stop share. I can pop in mine real quick.
All right.
For those people that haven't seen it.
You know that the one that you said, remember that you brought up the for sale sign in front of the house? For the design, right?
Yes.
This one, this download my app one, which is just below there. There's one down here where you can put your company logo in there, which is pretty cool too. So if you have your logo or your little bug with your information paint on it, you can stick that in, download my app, and it already has your information on the ad that goes out. That's pretty neat.
Okay, I'm
You guys
lost.
see my screen?
I'm lost now.
That's okay. We'll get you back. We'll get you back, Lucy. Can everyone see my screen, my command screen?
Yes.
Okay, just want to make sure. So then within designs, you can go into videos from here. Let me click on videos. So I already did one for Makawao, so I'm just going to play that one. Maybe I'm going to play it.
Looks like you had to download it first. There you go.
Yeah, it's weird because you used to be able to click on it and play.
Right.
Can you see the video?
Yeah, you can hear it. You know, the funny thing is, I was looking at Terry's picture and I can see her smiling and I can see her bouncing her head. And I'm like, if you're typical, all those people are doing that same thing, right? You're smiling and you're bouncing your head, right?
Oh, I love it. I love that video. That's great.
So again, reiterating, make sure you do your CMA, your comparison. You can put it in there just to verify your stats. When Robert was going over the tags, so if you recall, one of the tags I said was like farm culture. So you can go in and create your own custom tags for the specific neighborhood. So you can do as many as, I think it's 3, if I'm not mistaken, only up to 3. They may be changing that, but I believe it's only 3 currently that tags that you can have within the video. But again, you can either go in through campaigns or you can actually go into my designs, and then from my designs, or excuse me, in designs, and then it'll show all of these features and you can go into video and go in from there. So there's multiple ways that you can do that. I'm going to stop talking to see if there's any questions. And then I want to piggyback on what Robert was saying about the listing agreement, because then that's when Lucy said she was lost. So any comments or questions about this video, and then we'll piggyback on what Robert said about the listing package agreement to make sure Lucy's with us, or everybody's with us.
I actually
have a
had to take a,
question.
I had to take a phone call. What was the command video that you were watching while I was on the call?
No worries. So this was actually the neighborhood marketing video. So if you had a client or clients that were specifically wanting to target or look into homes or land in a specific neighborhood, what you could do is create a neighborhood video that highlights, days on market, average home prices in that area. And you can create this video in maybe 5 minutes. And you could send it to your prospective clients, or you could even use it as a general marketing plan or a marketing video, because videos are huge now, to target people that may be thinking about South Kihei, North Kihei, Makawao, Pukalani, wherever. So that's what it was.
Another good reason to get in here and play with these is these aren't the only ones Keller Williams is ever going to put out. And probably, or likely, the next ones that they put out will probably have a few more components with them. So you may want to get in and play with this. Create one. You don't have to send it anywhere. Just create it, download it. You can send it. But kind of get used to the rhythm of that, because all of a sudden, we may see 5 or 10 of these that go up, and if you're not, you may be tripping over yourself trying to figure out which one you want to use if you haven't even at least tried the first one. So I would say give it a shot. Just play with it, see what happens. Lucy, go.
I have
Okay,
a question.
where are the other templates? I'm right here. That's where I lost you earlier. Where are the other videos example in design? Or
So you can do one of two things. Robert was actually in campaigns. I'm actually in designs. So let me go back.
do you understand my
I was just going
question?
to say, Latasha, if you hit the plus sign down there and hit the video option, I think that.
Oh, no, that's what I was going to. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure she was with me. So within designs, and then videos already highlighted.
Okay.
And the plus sign.
Okay.
Then video again. I got to move you out the way. And then next. So then you could select your neighborhood from there. So this one, because I was getting ready to do another one for Kihei, but you can type in whatever you want, and then you just follow the path. And then there was another, what you were also, when Robert was doing his, he was actually in campaigns. And if you recall, there was a video on the top right-hand side that had neighborhood, it basically said neighborhoods. And then there was another one that said download my app or my app. So there was 2 different screens, if you will, or 2 different options.
So Lucy, with this, there's 2 different ways to get to the same place in command, right? So you can go into.
I'm going to the other one. Yeah.
Go into designs. You can go into designs and go to video and hit add video, and it'll bring you right to that first page where you put in the address.
Okay.
Or you can go to campaigns and do social posts, and it has a picture of it right there. Both of those are right. They're just 2 different ways to get to the same place.
But command only has right now 2
One.
examples of videos.
1.
Just one.
Just one that you can edit right now. Yeah.
Oh,
The reason why you were saying 2, Lucy, is those because I created 2. So it's only one that's available, one template that's available to KW. You saw 2 on my command because I created 2 of them.
Yeah, so you can create one for Lahaina, one for Upcountry, one for Wailuku. Yeah, so.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Got it. I'm up to beat now.
Awesome. Okay, so they're
whatever you want to call it.
No, it's great because
I
then
know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's great because then that way people understand that there's 2 ways to get to the same, to same end result. You can either go through campaigns with which Robert did, or you can go in design. So either way, you'll get to the end destination.
Kind
Regardless.
of like with Windows or with Mac, there's like 5 different ways to do the same thing. Like in Windows, there's 5 different ways to do the same thing. Mac, the same thing. Same thing in Command. There's different ways to get in to do the same thing. Yeah.
Someone else had another question. I don't know if we answered it by walking through this. Was there any other questions before we move on? Okay, so let's go into, I'm going to stop share and reshare because I was in a different, let's see.
I had a question real quick.
Still go ahead.
I couldn't get off of mute, but anyway, so if you were doing these videos just for a social post, not a client, you would put them in Facebook and where else?
You could put them in LinkedIn. They're sized right for LinkedIn as well. Or not LinkedIn, I'm sorry, Instagram.
Okay.
So you might have a little bit of cropping bar on either side, but they work. They work for any of those, yeah.
Okay. And it's recommended to be in your business Facebook page?
Yeah, you can post it anywhere you can post it, really. So I think you're okay.
Okay.
Yeah, personal.
I would, just for compliance, I would encourage you to always be in your business page because you don't want that coming back to bite you from a compliance issue. So I would say, sorry, Robert, I would say make sure you're in your business page when you're posting.
Okay, I'll even one up you on that one. So here we go. Put it on your business page. Cross-link that to your personal page so that when somebody clicks on it, it goes over to your business page, and then you're in compliance.
Make sure that nobody gets dinged from a compliance
Exactly.
standpoint.
Yeah. Just remember, you don't want to come across as a brokerage, or you want to make sure you're given the right accreditation to the place that you work. Yeah.
Hey, Robert, sorry, I first joined you guys on Facebook Live and now I'm on Zoom. So
Yeah.
I missed the part. What is it that we need to be in compliance on?
Just the marketing stuff that Michelle Del Rosario has. So Latasha made a good point that if you're going to post that neighborhood video, it does have your credentials at the end of it. I'm not sure if it shows the brokerage in a prominent adjacent position.
No, it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't.
So I would post it on your business page that should have that logo signage there, so that then you would be in compliance.
So I am confused on what we need to be sending to Michelle, because in one meeting, Don Harris is saying that we only need to be sending ads. But then I've personally spoken with Michelle,
Yep.
and Michelle told me that I need to get all of the ads approved by her. So, but then
it really it's totally up to Michelle. She's the one who bears all the brunt of the responsibility. So if you're a known quantity for Michelle and you come across, let's say you do a print design and you're going to use that print for your farming for 3 different separate farm locations,
right.
And what you're going to do is change the background image and everything else has been approved. You can ask her, is this okay to use as a template if I don't deviate except for the background? So maybe I'm going to do Maui Kamaole or Kihei Holiday or Cam Sands or whatever, right? And all I'm going to do is change that kind of thing. She may approve you for a template to use for that. So that could save some time. But
so when we post stuff like we're sharing a blog from Homekeeper or an article we found on the internet or an inspirational quote or stuff like that, is that stuff that we need to get approved, or is it just real estate advertising like the just listed or sold and
it gets into a really gray area there. And one of the agents that's been around for a very long time told me, if you're posting something that somebody could call on and you could sell real estate through, then you probably should be compliant.
So, but by compliant, do you mean approved by Michelle, or by compliant, do you mean it has our real estate number, brokerage,
Yes and yes. Yes and yes.
ID. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Because if I tell you something other than what I've been directed to say by our principal broker,
Right.
it's bad for me. So I can't.
Right.
No, you have to talk to Michelle about that and make sure. But yeah, just
Okay.
we're all independent contractors and we're all trying to remain compliant and not get like RICO complaints.
Right. I don't think anyone wants to get Michelle in trouble.
Right. Exactly.
No.
She works really hard, and believe me, you don't want to see her pissed. She'll come after you.
Oh God, no. I love Michelle. I think she's amazing. We're so blessed to have her.
Awesome. I think I want to just put a bow on what Robert said, because he actually mentioned one key thing, and then we're going to move to the next thing. If going back to Riley's point, if you are planning on doing multiple posts that are very similar in content and you're changing one thing, just be upfront with Michelle Del Rosario and just say, hey, here's my plan. I'm planning to tweak this, or I'm planning to tweak that. So then that way, for that specific marketing strategy or whatever you're doing, you don't have to go back and forth with her. You can just get it approved one time. And as long as you are very clear about what you're trying to do and the series or sequence in which you're doing it, she's totally fine with that. But just making sure you're in compliance, not only from her standpoint, but making sure you have all the brokerage information. So just, think about that in the forefront of your mind, so that when you're sending that information to her, you're already thinking 2 or 3 steps down the road. So you don't have to go back to her.
Let me grab a postcard and show you a picture of what of an example of what I just did. So I'll be right back.
Okay. And then just let me know. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say also, Latasha, did you guys touch on the point when you guys were doing the videos that to make sure the data that you're using in the videos is current and in alignment with the MLS data?
Yes, we did. So I stressed the fact, or we stressed the fact, that before you actually even do the video, it's important that you do go on to MLS and actually do a CMA of that neighborhood or neighborhoods, get the data first, then go in and create the video. So yes, we did stress that.
Okay, cool. All right.
Here's an example of a postcard that I did. And this one's for Kihei Holiday, but it has all the information that needs to be compliant. Maybe it's backwards for you guys, but you get the gist, right?
Hold on just a minute, because I needed to stop share and I need to pin this so people could see it.
Yeah.
So. Can I see that?
And then the other one.
That's beautiful.
Well, now the other one is just the same thing, only it's just a different complex. So I asked Michelle, I said, if I just keep the same information over on this side here, right? Am I in compliance if I just change this information on this side? And I said, can I use this as a template going forward with my farms? And she goes, thank you for asking. And yes, you're approved. So now I've got a template in command that I can change for any geo farm that I want to set.
Also, Robert, that painting behind you, we're using that in one of our listings right now.
Which one?
The one with the flowers. We have it. We have that as staging in one of our properties. I just love that. I'm like, I know where you bought that painting.
Doll Warehouse. I got it at Doll Warehouse. I got the green one on the hallway. Yeah.
Yep, they're the best. I just had to say that.
2 for $5. Why not? Yeah.
Right. They're amazing.
Which warehouse?
Da Warehouse.
Oh, yeah. I know that warehouse.
Yeah.
Da.
Yeah.
DA.
Yeah.
All right. So using folders to organize your command design templates. So we're shifting gears a little bit. We're still in designs, and we're talking about utilizing, or Marty Miller is talking about utilizing folders to organize them. So here.
Good afternoon, Keller Williams, and welcome back to the KW Command 66-Day Challenge, Day 45. So we have been creating multiple designs throughout this challenge, and I wanted to show you a way to keep those a little bit better organized in your command platform. So we're going to come down to designs. We'll click on that applet here on the left-hand side, the little paintbrush over the blank canvas, and it's going to take us into our designs applet. From that point, we're going to need to kind of get into the WeBrand side of things. So we're going to click on the plus sign we're going to select, it doesn't matter what you select. So just choose any one of these. I'll choose print and go to next. What I am looking to do is to get into the WeBrand side, and then actually I can start getting into the creation of custom folders that I can move my designs into. So if I click on the My Designs tab here at the top, you'll see I've gotten this screen. I've shown you this screen multiple times, but I don't know if you noticed you have the ability to create folders from within this screen as well. So here's a folder that I've created already, 4406 Center Street, one of my listings. You guys have seen that plenty of times. I could create a new folder. Maybe it was, we've done a lot about listing documents, so I could put listing documents as the folder name. Click on OK, so there's a new folder. You can see I did that kids listing agreement multiple times to get that one right while I was working on delivering that to you guys. And so I could bring all of those in. As I hover over the folder, you can see it will drop it. It'll give that little blue circle. And now I have moved those documents into that folder. So kind of a way to make sure that it's not kind of a chaotic mess, which it can certainly sometimes be as you go through and look at my list of all of my templates. And then I can also come into these folders and then easily access any of those documents that I want to reuse. As the documents are in the folder, I can duplicate, view, delete, edit, or rename them. And then on the actual folders themselves, I can choose to rename the folder or delete it altogether. The only thing that we can't do right now is kind of reorder the order that these folders are in. So just a heads up there, but this is a nice way to kind of keep track of and organize all of your design templates in one simple place by getting into the My Designs tab and creating new folders. That's it for today, guys. Day 45 of the 66-day challenge. I hope everyone is staying safe as the hurricane comes into the Texas-Louisiana coast. Laura is not playing nice, and so for all the agents that I know in those areas, please stay safe. We're praying for you guys, and we'll look forward to you coming out on the other side safe and healthy. Otherwise,
Laura, what about Zeta?
And we still have power in the Houston area. Thanks so much.
Remember, we're behind.
Yeah.
Zeta is hitting
Or
right
he's
now.
behind in turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the 7th storm since, I don't know, August or something.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. That's crazy. And they're getting hard hit. It's horrible for them. Yeah.
So any comments or questions about creating the folders? It's very good to stay organized. The one thing that he mentioned was the coloring book PDF. And within the chat, I did put that on there. So click on that if you want to have that PDF. But comments or questions about adding or creating the folders?
Yeah, what was that kid's listing he was talking about?
Yes, thanks. Great question. So it started actually on Tuesday, Riley, and what we were doing was we were sharing ways to, if you've got clients that have children, and how to incorporate or bring the children in the process. So the first step was how to create a coloring page for the children to keep them busy on the listing appointment or whatever appointments you have with your clients. It could even be just an initial onboarding meeting in which you would create the coloring page, and then that would keep the kids busy. The second part of that was actually creating a listing agreement for the kids. And we talked about different strategies and why that would be effective. Robert will speak to one, but one of the things that I highlighted is this. Typically when you have clients that have children, the mom and dad or whomever is in that parental role may tell Sophia, hey, Sophia, it's important to you. We're listing our house. We need you to, clean your room every day. Mom and dad or grandpa or whoever it is may say that to them till they're dizzy in the head. But if Terry comes in with her little listing agreement and says, Sophie, I need you to sign this and commit to it. And then there's also incentives at the bottom. Sophie's typically going to be inclined to listen to Terry because she's a third neutral party. Then you're also getting the parents and or parental figure on board as well, because you're showing them that, hey, I value you. Everybody's a part of this. Let's help get this household sold. So that was the context of that. Robert, you want to speak to your other point as well?
It's kind of it's a very cute little thing to do with the kids, but the coloring book one is something I thought that it kind of serves twofold. It'll get you into designs. It'll start you moving around in designs. It'll get you using the typewriter and you're in a fun place. You're not in a contractual place where you feel like you're going to screw something up. So one thing I did want to comment about the design folders is I would suggest putting a folder up there that says to be trashed or archived or I'll look at later, and start dumping all your old stuff up in there and clear up some of your main workspace, because you can delete that folder. You can recreate that folder again and then just keep an archived folder. So you might be working through some designs, or you've got a whole bunch of untitled ones and you're like, I don't know what that is, but I don't have time. Just move it up into that folder. And you can create a whole bunch of folders that way and clean up the space so it's not just digital junk staring at you every time you go in. Yeah.
Comments or questions about the folders? And then if not, we're going to recap a bit about the smart plans, and then that'll take us out for today. Any other follow-up questions or comments about what we chatted about today? Clarifying points?
Set
Okay.
a goal to do one design a day. It's easy.
Okay, and then we answered Crystal's question about where to post the videos. So let me do this. I want to share my screen again. And let's go back into.
Can I ask a quick question while you're doing that?
Absolutely.
I just got a message that said my Facebook had been hacked. What do I do? Just change my password?
Don't click on anything first. Do not click on anything first. But Robert, go ahead. Sorry.
Go into your Facebook and see if that's actually true. Who sent you the message?
2 different family members.
Oh. Well, maybe they got hacked and that it forwarded on to you. So I would check your Facebook out and see. And then best practice is change your password on your Facebook account.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Great question, though. So within Smart Plans, we talked about this a couple of days ago, and actually Robert wasn't in to hear my praise of him. But just to recap, Smart Plans, we went to libraries, and this was on Tuesday. And then where it says Smart Plan name, we're going to go into author, and we're going to type in somebody's name.
Oh, you found me.
And someone has 4 smart plans, and we actually talked about those smart plans. And just so you know, Robert, I was the first one to rate your Twilio First Touch.
Okay.
So I think I get brownie points for that. Oh, and Terry was number 2. So
yeah,
just saying.
Yeah.
But again,
if you want a plan that really bugs you a lot, that no answer callback plan. So what I use that for is Facebook leads come in. And I've talked to Riley about this. Facebook leads come in and I can't touch them. I can't get a hold of them on the first day. So I add them to the no answer callback. The next day I get a task that says, hey, call this person back, because they're on the smart plan, and it gives me a task. Call them back. And if I try and call them back and they don't, I just leave them on the smart plan and I complete the task. The next day it does the same thing. Call them back. So what happens is when you actually get somebody on the line, you just take them off that smart plan and then you're good. But that smart plan is kind of a digital nag, right? To get you to actually do what you're supposed to do. It works for me. So if it fed cookies out my screen, I'd probably be a millionaire. So
anyone have any questions about or comments about smart plans? Any questions? No? We're all good? All right, so I can't wait to see some of your posts as it relates to videos. Make sure that you utilize those coloring books that you may, or coloring pages that you may create, and or listing agreements. So if you're doing any of those things, I would say this, we would love to see that collateral, your marketing collateral. So if you have videos that you've already created, or if you take the time and create a coloring page and or listing agreement, share those with Robert or I, because we have to report out on a monthly basis what we're doing. And we would love to have that feedback. We can see what you're doing from a vital signs statistic, but it's more market centric. And we would love to be able to share individual testimonies. So if you are proud about something you're doing, a post or whatever it is, or if you have a Facebook campaign that, you know, really garnered a lot of traction and you got a bunch of leads from, even if you got one lead and it was a quality lead and it led to something, share that with us so that we can further support you, but then also let the Market Center know that our classes and our one-on-ones that we do with you are actually valuable. Does that make sense?
You know, something to add to that. If the design's good enough, if you guys have noticed in the new designs, there's always a featured design. We can post it to Keller Williams Connect, and you could be a featured design, which means you'll be in front of 60,000 people. So, yeah, kind of cool.
All right. Well, thanks, everyone. I hope you have a wonderful Thursday. Great weekend. Try not to be haunted too much over the weekend. Stay safe. See you next week. Aloha.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Have a great Halloween, guys.
Thank you.